Hello. This is gonna be something interesting because I haven't really done too many video game reviews. Um, I haven't, but I do kind of want to review this one just because there's been so much weird controversy surrounding it, and I have never seen so many widely split opinions on something in a long time. In terms of, I hated this, but I love this, and then the next review is I loved what they hated, but hated what they loved, and it's a very common thing. And then some of the complaints were just plain stupid. I'm gonna say that right now. Looking at you, IGN and GameSpot. But that is Days Gone. I'm not gonna spend too long on this because I don't think I need to. And I'm not gonna turn this into a parade of. I'm gonna show you every single negative review and what they said about this and why it's not true and why you can never trust them. No, I will say though that right off the bat, the IGN and GameSpot reviews that started trying to, oh, and Eurogamer starting to try to dock points for the protagonist not being any kind of minority or not being, whatever, or there not being enough people who weren't white or something like ridiculous like that. That is stupid. That is plain stupid. And it also kind of, I will say that some of the complaints I've seen kind of exposed some people because they clearly did not complete the game before they wrote their reviews, or they'd see some of the issues that they had were completely immaterial. I can't say what some of them were, unfortunately, because I'm trying to not spoil this for people. But I will say this: Days Gone is a good game. It really is. I kind of feel a need to be a little nuanced with this though. I liked the characters a lot. And what I mean by that is, I didn't like them. I really did not necessarily like Deacon and Boozer when you first meet them. That they were kind of douchey and like gruff and everything else. But it's like when you consider the world around them, that's understandable. But it's also because you're just meeting them, and as you get to know them, you figure out, they do have a softer side. They aren't complete asshats. They do have a code of honor that they follow. Um, and just there's some interesting development all around as you progress in the game. And you have Deacon who believes his wife is dead, and then he hears that she might not be, and so he starts going on this. I mean that right there, and how that storyline affects him is just it is great, and it is well paced, and it is believable, and honestly, I really liked it. The controls, I know a lot of people complain about the aim. I think that's actually partially because they encourage you to, you can upgrade your aim and the recoil and your weapons and everything, and that is something that I think that they really wanted you to do. Um, but because I mean, once I had everything like upgraded, I rarely, if ever, missed like a shot. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's quite the massive issue people made that out to be. But I can understand why at first it could feel a little frustrating because sometimes it did. But like this is a game too where gameplay actually evolves. Like in the very beginning of the game, stealth is way encouraged. It's almost mandatory. But by the time you get later on in the game with some of your skill tree upgrades and your weapon upgrades, like you are a one man wrecking crew. I mean, you get to the point where you can take down hordes that have like several hundred freakers in them. That kind of thing. So seeing that the gameplay actually evolves along with the story is something that I hadn't really seen done in a game before, at least not very effectively. Like there'll be times where it's like, oh hey, we took all your weapons away, time for a stealth sequence, and it's like, but I've never seen a game that, first of all, still allows you to have the choice, but second of all, makes it very clear that hey, you're not very well equipped right now. You don't have a whole lot of ammo. You don't have a whole lot of health, upgrades yet, you should probably stealth this. If you don't want to and you want to try to do it the other way, though, you can. That to me was just really cool. And it's not something that I see a whole lot of open world games do. Like most of them that I played, once you get like an assault rifle, you're pretty much good to go for most things. Um, so seeing them take the time to do that, that was a nice touch. That's something that you usually find in like more linear narrative focused games. Um, on that note, the narrative, I actually liked it. I don't quite understand some of the complaints about how it's so weak or undermines itself or how certain plot twists or reveals undermine character arcs. I never got that. I never got that vibe really. Um, and I certainly don't think any of them ever ruined a character arc. If anything, they actually provided room for more growth. So, I mean, in that case, yeah, I actually really like the characters. I like the story. Um, the gameplay was fun. The bike takes some getting used to, but once you are, the controls fine. It actually kind of controls the way you actually have to worry about controlling a bike. Don't oversteer. You can still. Oh God, oh God, the details in this game. That's another thing. Like the weather details. When the road is wet and it's like raining, if you're driving on your bike and you like go too fast or try to like take a turn, you will hydroplane. Same thing when there's like snow. The road gets slipperier in the snow, but you can actually hydroplane in the rain, and I thought that was nuts. Um, the bodies on the ground, after you kill them, the snow accumulates on them. The snow accumulates on you too, your character. Um, just the detail and the environmental detail and the weather detail and the weather system in Days Gone is freaking incredible. But I do have to say there are some technical hiccups, and I'm not the kind of person, mind you, who will sit there and just say, well, it didn't happen to me, so it's not happening. When you have numerous reports of bugs, there are bugs. Okay? And even though I didn't encounter near as many, and certainly none that were game breaking, I'm not going to deny that they exist. Uh, but, credit to Bend. Whenever they got reports of an issue, they usually had a patch out within 1 to 2 days that would fix it. Um, which is a level of speed and dedication that's almost unrivaled. Um, but, I mean, they're there. In most cases, at least in my experience, um, most of them were harmless, were kind of, just little things. Um, the worst thing I think I ever experienced was when I forget what it was. I honestly forget what it was. It wasn't a big deal, but it was frustrating. Um, and that was when I think something hit me and sent me flying, and I actually bounced off it and ragdolled backward right to a horde. It was a weird thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was like basically dead anyway, so. And I knew I was. They had me cornered. I was going to die. But ragdolling into them to assert dominance, I guess. But yeah, I would honestly, when all said and done, though, um, with this game, I would legitimately give it a solid somewhere between an 8 and an 8.5. Like the narrative based gamer in me really likes, really wants the 8.5. But on the gameplay side of things, there are those bugs and everything else. So I'm gonna give it an 8. It's not God of War or Spider Man, but considering it's Ben's first AAA IP since Siphon Filter, um, and considering the scale that they worked on, because that map actually does get huge, um, I'd say they did an amazing job, honestly. And I personally cannot wait for a sequel. I hope there's a sequel. I really do. But yeah, I think they actually did a very admirable, very solid job, and I would encourage you all to play it. Um, I mean, if you all want to wait for like a sale or something, I understand that. I do because there just been, mixed reports. I get that, and I doubt that my pseudo review here has convinced you otherwise. But I do think you all owe it to yourselves to at least give it a try, and also keep in mind it is a slow burn game. All right, that it's a slow burn narrative. It's a slow burn game, but once it opens up, it really opens up, and boy, is it easy to get sucked in. I've lost entire days sitting there. Well, appropriate title, days gone. But I've lost entire days sitting there playing that game. It's just wow, and the way some of the things in the environment can just kind of happen. Just it's something, man. Like random cougar attacks, random ambushes. Driving along, all of a sudden a bear sees you and starts trying to chase you. It's definitely something. And it's also fun to have freakers lured into a camp and watch them clean it up for you. But I digress. At any rate, though, yeah, I would definitely give this game an 8, and I would definitely say pick it up, please. Just, give it a shot. That is it for tonight, though, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.